So what you're looking at on the screen is the exact cold Loom video and transcript that I use to go from 0 to 100 to 200 to $300,000 per month with my business. I used to run an agency at 7 figures and a coaching business at multi-7 figures, and all of my appointments and all of my meetings came through this one Loom. And in this video, I'm going to break it down. Now, quick preface. Yes, I'm going to reveal the whole thing. I'm going to get rid of all the yellow on the screen and show you the entire script. There's a temptation, I understand, to click to the end of the video and just blindly copy and paste this thing like a monkey. But if you can't sit through a quick 20-minute video that explains how the system works and why the script works, then you're never going to be successful and you're going to fail and you don't deserve to be anything, right? So just watch the thing in full, understand why it works, take that knowledge and then build your own. Don't just blindly copy and paste because everyone's going to do that and it won't work anymore, okay? So you need to understand how it works. That's the value in this video. Okay, prove it. What you can see here, when I started in 2022, I used cold Loom to go all the way up here by 2023 to $250,000 a month, give or take. So it works. And what I'm going to do here is basically break down the transcript and the psychology behind the Loom so you can get a better feel for how to do it yourself. Now, if you're the kind of person that struggles with booking appointments consistently and generating meetings or signing high-ticket clients on a regular basis, I would encourage you to click the first link in the description because all of the systems that we use that we've proven to work for ourselves are basically explain that, and you can get a feel for how we could guarantee you clients and guarantee you appointments. Pitch over, you don't care. Let's get into it.
Hey Rob, how's it going, man? Charlie Morgan here. I wanted to reach out and just add a personal touch to my approach, but I hope you...
Okay, so first of all, off the rip, in the first 7 seconds, all we're doing here is basically just reiterating the personal touch idea, right? Because when you take the time to record a Loom for someone, it's an investment and it takes a bit of time for you to do it. So it's important to remind them this is a personal touch, even though to them, they might not necessarily know that. Obviously they do, but a little bit of reciprocity starts building at the beginning, right? Now, what you'll notice is when you record this Loom, you want to record it on their website. So you can see for this person in question, this is their website. If you don't have access to their website, you can use a social media profile. It needs to be something that they recognize, that they know that you have actually done for them, instead of just pulling up some, random page and some random pitch that's evergreen. This hits so much harder, okay? Because it's recognizable to them. It has, they feel safe, they're in familiar territory, etc., etc. Works a lot better.
You're doing well. Now, the main reason I'm reaching out today, Rob, is to introduce you to an opportunity.
So what we're doing off the rip here is we're just hooking them. We're not getting into a pitch. We're not getting into a aggressive sales attitude here. We're just starting off, and this continues for a second here.
One that I think could be very profitable for you and your agency, and I also think you're going to love it.
Okay, so we're 16 seconds into the Loom at this point. The framework is very simple. Reiterate the fact that it's a little bit personal and just be a human. This is as you can see here, I'm not recording this as a professional. I haven't got crazy lighting or in a suit and tie on. I'm in my bedroom with my lockdown haircut, just with a hoodie on, recording a Loom, right? Once you're past the personal point, you just sort of shook hands with them digitally, so to speak. That's when we're introducing the hook. It's I've got this opportunity for you and I think it could be good for you, but I don't know yet. And I think you're gonna love it, but maybe not. The entire point of this Loom is basically soft pitching. And you're gonna see as we go through the rest of this transcript here, exactly how I structure this. And it works so well, and it booked me literally thousands of appointments I booked from this, made millions of dollars.
Bear with me here. So over the past few years, my partner and I have successfully scaled an agency called NorthFlow Consulting. And in that time, we have been able to completely automate client acquisition to the point now where we can book 100 calls a month without really doing any work.
Okay, so what we do at this point is authority. So we're not pitching yet, we're just building authority and trying to build a little bit of trust. So the pitch is gonna come soon. It's gonna be a very soft, gentle pitch. It's gonna be gorgeous, and it's gonna be beautifully served. But before we explain the outcome that we can help them get, and before we give them the offer and sort of start actually telling them this is what we can do for you, we wanna precursor that with a little bit of authority. So what I'm doing here is basically saying, look, I've actually built my own agency, so I know how to build an agency. And in that time, blah, 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 blah. And then what we're doing is we're stating, and this is huge, we're stating the outcome that they want, but we're not actually pitching it to them yet. So we're just dangling the carrot, we're teasing them, so to speak, right? Which you could take out of context. But let's say that you hadn't already built your own agency and you hadn't already done this before. What you could do is, let's say you had a system and you have no clients. What you could do is you could say, so bear with me here. Over the last few years, my team and I have been working on a system that reliably, predictably, and consistently generates appointments for insert niche here. And in that time, we've just figured out how to completely automate the front end of the business to the point where we can generate 50 to 75 qualified high ticket deals for the business every single month. And really, it doesn't require any work from the founder. So what we're doing here is we're explaining what we do to them in a roundabout way without being direct. And this makes the prospect feel comfortable, it builds trust, it builds authority, and it stops you from looking like this desperate goon that's just desperately trying to get them to schedule a call.
And that's kind of cool because we can help you do the same. What we have is a program, Rob, that basically gives you all the systems and processes that we've used to successfully scale. And this program will give you step-by-step instructions on how to completely automate your acquisition, right? So
the key here is step-by-step and then the outcome. So what marketing, this is for a marketing agency, right? So what marketing agencies want is to automate their client acquisition, which is probably why you're watching this as well. Click the link in the description if you want to automate client acquisition. I'm just joking. But my point here is, you start with the authority thing. You just dangle the outcome. You just sort of allude to the fact that this system could probably do that for you. And maybe it could help you do the same as well. What we have here is a program, blah, 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 all the systems. And really what this is essentially a step-by-step process that's so easy to follow that anyone can do, that we've done for lots of people, that gets you the exact outcome that you want, right? All we're doing is just bringing it into their peripheral awareness, right? We're not actually pitching. This is a pitch, right? And it's clear as day a pitch. But when you listen to this from a prospect's perspective, we're not actually being directly pitching them. We're just saying, look, I've got this thing. It's really cool. I think you're going to love it. I've done it for myself. I've done it for a few other people. I could help you do the same. It's just this step-by-step process that gives you exactly what you want. We're not actually asking them for anything yet, because the pitch happens when you make the ask. And so the longer we delay the ask, the better, at least in this context, because we get to build all this leverage. And what you're going to do towards the end of the Loom is ask them to book a meeting, right? You're going to ask them for a sales call, to book a meeting through Calendly or a scheduling software. But what we want to do is we want to build that ask up so that by the time we make the ask, they're so emotionally loaded and so curious and so incentivized that the call booking comes easy. And that's the art of making a cold Loom.
That you can book 30 to 90 pre-qualified calls every month with businesses in your niche from multiple sources.
So basically, I know what my market wants, which is 30 to 90 pre-qualified calls. And it's not enough to just say, I can get you this. You need to be specific. So, financially qualified calls per month with businesses that you serve in your niche from multiple sources. And so, the reason I say multiple sources here is because I don't want people to try and bucket this into one thing like, oh, it's cold email or it's cold calling. Never, ever, 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 ever explain the details of what you do. Ever. What you'll notice about this Loom is all I'm doing is keeping things purposefully vague and purposefully curiosity inducing. We don't talk about email, we don't talk about Facebook ads, we don't talk about funnels. You do never mention the process, ever. It's rule one, because curiosity is one of the primary psychological driving forces behind exploration. What are we trying to get prospects to do? Explore, right? If you give them information, too much information here, they'll build this picture of what they think it is in their mind, and then they'll relay that against all their past previous experience, and then they'll create this weird Shrek-like Frankenstein thing, projection of what they think you're selling, and they'll write it off as not a good fit. So it's really important that you don't get into too much detail, right? And you focus on the outcome, you keep it vague.
Right, so it's kind of awesome. Now, we're so confident in this that we actually guarantee return on investment.
So what we're doing here is, at this point, we're making the offer, and really what an offer basically is its outcome, time frame, and risk reversal. So we're basically saying guarantee, but we're not actually making the offer. We're just saying, we've got this program, it gives you step-by-step instructions, it can help you completely automate everything so that you can. There's the so that you can is the beautiful, wonderful bridge between this illusion of easy solution to then solving the problem. Because here's the thing, right, is there's your product and there's their problem, and we need to create a bridge between these two things so that people can associate your solution and you with the problem they've got, right, and tie it together. And so when we have this bridge so that you can, it's like, I have this thing so that you can have this thing. And then they put two and two together and it just starts becoming clear in their mind. This is all happening subconsciously, by the way. I studied psychology for a fucking decade to get the hang of this stuff. And I've been applying psychology to client acquisition systems for, many, many years now. And so what we're doing then is we're just introducing the risk reversal. Once again, this is pretty vague. So we actually guarantee return on investment, we've made the whole thing completely risk-free. You cannot lose money. We're not getting into the weeds of the guarantee or the weeds of the risk reversal. You might be thinking, I don't have a guarantee. Well, you need one, my friend, because trying to get appointments and clients in this day and age using cold methods without a guarantee is basically impossible, unless you're in a market or a niche that's very, very undersaturated and has never really experienced cold email or cold DM before.
So we've made the whole thing completely risk-free, right? We've literally made it a complete no-brainer. And for that reason, pretty much everyone we reach out to becomes a client.
In psychology, this is called expectation setting. Not the type of expectation setting that you're used to or might think of. It's expectation, identity expectation. And what this basically is this is where you make them feel like a bit of an idiot for not booking a call. So what I say is it's risk-free, and because of that, it's a complete no-brainer. And because of that, pretty much everyone that watches this Loom becomes a client. And so what I'm doing is I'm framing, I'm assigning an identity to them, which is basically, it's obviously a good fit, right? It's obviously a good thing to do. Like, it's everyone we reach out to signs up and books, because why wouldn't you? It's a no-brainer. You'd have to be stupid not to. And we're not calling them stupid. We're just saying that they would be if they didn't. And because of the way it's worded, they naturally think, oh, I should probably book because it's a no-brainer. Like, but if I was more direct and said, so you need to book this right now because it's a total no-brainer and you would be stupid not to, you're saying kind of the same thing, but not really, because you're using the word you. As soon as you bring the word you into it, it becomes direct. But what you'll notice about pretty much all of this pitching here, with the exception of a couple of words, is, we're saying like, so we can help you get step-by-step instructions, but we're never calling them out, if that makes sense. And that really helps. And so this expectation of like, it's a total no-brainer. So basically, and this is a lie, by the way, not everyone who we reached out to becomes a client. I'd be a billionaire by now if that was the case. But, it gets their mind thinking like, okay, well, he seems pretty confident, right?
So, Rob, listen, I would love to chat with you. I don't want to take too much time on this video, but we've got an amazing product, and I would love the chance to share it with you in a little bit more.
So this is where we're teeing up the ask. Okay, so we're still not quite asking for the call. At this point, he knows it's personal, and we're on his website, so there's already some reciprocity built, which happens at the beginning. Then, we're hooking him in, we're just alluding to this opportunity, this idea, this new thing that you want to share with him that just keeps him interested. And you've got to realize, the more seconds someone listens to your voice and watches your face, the more familiar they're becoming with you, the more likely they are to finish the Loom. And so a lot of people think that being hyper direct works. Not the case. You be soft, you be gentle, you gently poke them until eventually they book. And then, a little bit of authority is built. Now, this is really important, the authority piece here, because we're building the authority before we pitch. So obviously, at this point here, this is where we really make the offer, which is the bulk of the Loom, right? But before we make the offer, we've introduced a little bit of authority, like, oh, I've worked with these clients, or oh, I've done this, or oh, I've built this system that works so well and we can get this result without doing any work, right? Whatever you want to do, you can put it in there. And then, so Rob, listen, I would love to chat with you. I don't want to take too much time in this video. We've got an amazing product. I would love the chance to share it with you in a little bit more depth. What this is just it was just precursing the actual call. And it's a little bit of humility, right? You're just basically sort of, adding a little bit of, you're dropping your pride a little bit. Like, I would love the opportunity to talk to you. I would absolutely love the chance to share it with you. If you could just spare me a few minutes. I know you're so busy. I know that you've got so much going on, but as a humble salesman, it would fill me with joy to be able to show this to you, because I love the thing so much. Just show a little bit of enthusiasm for your product. Like, I've got this amazing product. I promise you it's going to be worth your time, blah, blah, blah. You can kick your sales hat into gear.
Little bit more depth. So yeah, if you're open to new ways of getting clients, let's have a chat. I've sent this to you personally, and when you respond, I will personally reply. But let's get a call booked in.
So what we're doing here is, this is another little identity expectation that we're setting. If you're open to new ways of getting clients, let's have a chat. Basically, you're making the decision for them. You're not asking, would you like to have a call? Except from, you can sort of do that at the end here. But we're not actually asking them for anything. We're just basically telling them that this thing exists and that they'd be stupid to not do it in a roundabout soft way, that it doesn't trigger their ego. You kind of bypass the ego. And this is the thing, this is the beautiful thing about this sort of statement here, is it's a sort of obvious duh statement, which basically means that it applies to everyone. So, for example, if you're reaching out to gyms, you could say, okay, so yeah, like if you're looking to grow your gym, or okay, yeah, so if you're looking for like cheaper, higher quality leads, then let's have a chat. Everyone is looking for that and everyone wants that. And so basically what we're doing here is this statement becomes the precursor to the next statement. So the ask is, let's have a chat. And you can ask it as a sort of question. So if you're open to new ways of getting clients, let's have a chat. It's a question, but it's a statement, and you're making the decision for them. And it's brilliant because they don't really have to take any action. All they have to do is just be like, yeah, okay, that seems like a good idea. You know, yeah, I want more clients. Yeah, I'm open to new ways of getting clients. You can hack people's brains with stuff like this, right? Then we add a bit of reciprocity as well to get the reply out of them. So I have sent this to you personally, and when you respond, I will personally reply, but let's get a call booked in then. We're not asking for anything. We're just assuming that they want to do it, and we're carrying that with confidence, and we're applying a little bit of reciprocity. So I sent this to you personally. I took a lot of time out of my day to research you and make this Loom. So when you receive this and you reply, you'll be talking to me directly, and I cannot wait to hear back from you, right? Blah, blah, blah. And then the last bit.
I've no doubt you will reply, so I'll look forward to chatting with you soon. Have an amazing day, man.
Once again, expectation setting. I've got no doubt in my mind that you will reply. So I will look forward to talking to you soon. We're not asking for a call. It's brilliant. Like, you know, people respond to this stuff. And all we're trying to do here is just get a positive reply, you know, and people would respond to this email or respond to this Loom like, yeah, I'm interested, or yeah, here's my number. And then you set up a call by having Calendly. What we started doing that works a lot better on Looms after this was adding a call to action to the email. So what I would do if I were you is at the end I would say, yep, so I've got no doubt you'll reply. I'll look forward to talking to you soon. By the way, if you'd like to avoid having to play tennis on email, which I'm sure you hate, there's a button in the top right-hand corner that you can click right now to schedule a call with me personally, where we can discuss exactly how this would work for your business. No pressure to book, but I'd love to see you on there. Have a good day. And what that looks like is this. So I've got this test Loom here that you can see. And I'll just bring this over here and stretch it out a little bit. So if you go on Loom and you make a video, you need the paid version to do this. But you can go to add a link like this. And the button link, you know, you can just link to, you know, your scheduling, right? So I'm not going to put this in here, but I'll just put google.com, right? But then what you can do is you put your Calendly link or your scheduling software link in here. And then you'd basically just say like, schedule here, or, you know, book a call. Or what I would personally do is put their name. So like if it was Rob, I'd be like, Rob, click here, you know, top right location, that's fine, save. And then basically that CTA is just there the whole time, right? You might want to sort of precursor at the beginning and be like, hey, look, by the way, you can see this button in the top right-hand corner. Before you click that, let me just explain how this is and what it is before you click it, because I want to make sure it's a fit for you. Otherwise, they might click it prematurely. So just bear that in mind, but that is a little strategy that you can use. So in essence, that is the Loom structure, and that is the script and how it works. And I hope that the understanding of the psychology behind it makes you a lot of money. Like I said, if you want to skip the queue and not have to figure this stuff out yourself, there's a link in the description that explains our systems and how we can help you get clients, and basically how we guarantee you near enough unlimited meetings. Like, we've got such a strong process for doing this. So you can check it out if you want. There's no pressure, there's no stress, but you might want to. Have a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.